Hello and welcome back. The Western Super Detail coaches have made a return to the railway, so we'll just bring this round to the other station and we're going to have a look at the RS5 set today. Let's just see if we can bring that through there. So I've got the set all out here. A nice gentle stop. There we have it. So we'll just leave that there. Have a quick look there. We've got that great diesel locomotive we saw last video with the Pullmans there. And then we've got the Bristol Castle. And we'll perhaps have a look at the bottom of these Super Detail coaches a bit later on. I'll give them the wheels another clean. They're still quite a heavy load. They do create an awful lot of friction. Let's have a look at this set though. Lovely thing. RS5 comes from around 1960 to 61. If you have a look at the insert picture there, you can see how it looked in the catalogue in those years. So the locomotive is sort of old enough to have solid wheels. Let's just have a look at that. So definitely solid wheels, no magnet adhesion. I'm not sure whether this model went on to have that or not, or whether it just got the sort of see-through wheels perhaps later on. I know the chassis definitely could take it. I'll have a look at that and I'll leave a note at the bottom. But let's have a look over the set box lid. So there we go, RS5, and we've got that lovely image there. I mean, that would have been just such a grand thing. We've seen this image before. It's got the princess up there with the Pullmans, and I've got the father and two sons just looking at the vast expanse of model railway items in front of them. Let's see, this set box has had a little bit of scuffing on it here and there. It's not too bad. You see a bit of push through there where something's pushed through the car where it's been stored over the years. So an interesting sticker on this side. I don't know whether this is pricing or a store code. So that's quite an interesting looking ticket, that, isn't it? And again, the set sort of spot there in yellow, RS5. Staples not too rusty, a little bit of effect of tape on there. It's not too bad. Hasn't sort of got any real damage on it. I don't think there's any tears to it. It's in really nice condition. Let's see if we can have a quick glance at the other side of this box before we do something terrible to it. So it looks to have had a fairly sheltered life, doesn't it? Glance down the other side of it there. So I'm just going to put this. We'll just balance this up here out of the way, so we can keep that there. Now let's have a look at the items in the set. It's probably not a complete set. Definitely some track missing. I think it should have possibly an uncoupling rail in it. So we've got the nice bit of paper here, sort of paper label, sorry. It is essential that this locomotive is lubricated before running. Read instructions carefully. Now I don't have the full instructions for this, but we'll have a fairly good idea of how that needs lubricating. And it hasn't run for quite some time. I think I got this set back in 2017, so quite early on in my collecting. And I don't think I've run it in at least 5 years. So we'll have a look how it runs. So we've got a nice well wagon there. So I can't remember the numbers for these. I'm just going to have a glance at my notes. So the locomotive was R251 and the tender R33. I think these locomotives came along in 58. They're made in the black livery till 65, and it was made for a short time in maroon livery. So if you have a look at that picture from 58, it's one of my sort of favourite catalogue pages with all of those locomotives there. I always thought that was a lovely image, sorry, a set of images all on the one page. And then we've got a well wagon there, so that's a R118. I think they were available sort of 56, 57. And a lovely brick wagon there. I don't think that's got the brick load in. Again, some of these I might not be able to. I don't know whether I can pinch those out. No, that's stuck in there. I'm going to need the two hands to get that out of there. But I'm fairly confident that doesn't have the brick load in it. So this is R219, available sort of 59, 67. I know we've got a cattle wagon here, So R122 5872. So will this one come out? No, they're stuck in the cardboard. And then we've got the Western brake van here. Again, R124 56 to 1970. Quite a long running item again. Actually, that one comes straight out amazingly. So we've got quite a bit of detail on there. A chimney on the roof. So we've got a brake handle in there. I don't know whether we can get to see that. There we go. So lovely detail. So I don't think that is peeling away. I think it is definitely glued on. And underneath we've definitely still got sleeved wheels. I think this model probably went on to get pinpoints at some point in its life. So we'll pop that down. Bottle of oil there. I think all of the oil is gone in there. I don't think we can get that one out. Actually, is there any oil in there? Yeah, I think there might be some liquid in there. It looks incredibly viscous. Or am I just looking at reflections there? Let's have a look. I'll investigate when I've got two hands available, but I didn't think there was oil left in there. Yeah, it certainly looks like there's some liquid in there. It's usually very, very thick and orange. So, yeah, so we've got first radius or small radius curves, shall we call them. Very, very tight. I can't remember the exact radius, but they are a little tighter than what came to be known as first radius. So there, I think there should be an uncoupling rail in here, but it's missing, and I think also there should be a piece of cardboard in here to divide those and keep these up a little bit. So that would make a nice oval of track. So this tender was R33, and let's see if we can pinch that one out. So coal load there, it looks a little bit loose. I can feel that wobbling in my hand. Wheels, they're reasonably free running. I'm going to have a look at those, but the decals are quite nice on there. I'll just have a quick look down that side of it. Not too much handling, so we'll leave that carefully there. And then we'll just see if we can get out this locomotive. So we'll come over the top a bit more. There we go. So decal quite nice on there. We'll just pop that down there and just come in a little bit closer on it. So I think these are quite fragile, these labels on the side. Definitely got the solid wheels. Great big brass gear on the bottom of it there. Let's pick this up. We'll have perhaps a closer look at this. We'll get this on the bench, I think, because we're going to have to give it a little bit of a light service. And we're going to find some cab detail in there of some description. Let's see if I can grab that so we can see that. So see down the side of the motor there, you've got this tiny amount of cab detail either side, but that motor does really protrude through there, and we've got the drawbar for the tender. Let's see if we can pop this on the rails and see what it's like. I think it's going to be a little bit coughing and spluttering. So no magnet adhesion there. Sorry, I was pointing in the wrong direction. Let's see if we can grab some controls. And we'll give this a little power. Yeah, so that's very hesitant, isn't it? So definitely going to need to, I think, wheels cleaned and axles. Yeah, I think that's not happy at the moment. So I'm definitely going to benefit from a little look over that. No, the wheels don't look too bad, but I bet any oil that was on those axles has really congealed in the years this has been sitting in the box. I've just taken the tender apart, and looking on the inside, there's oil. It's sort of wet in there. So this sort of screws down against the weight. Let's just have a quick glance at that. You can see that's I'm going to grab focus there. So there's oil residue in there. I'm not quite sure where that's come from. I don't remember squirting this much oil on here to cause that to happen. Let's just put this down there. You can see it's under the weight there as well. It's definitely all gooey. So let's just put that that weight over there, and I'll just see if I can take out these wheels and we'll get them a bit clean. It's this one here that worries me. It's not as free as the other. These two, or these two sets are quite nice and free, but this one is it takes quite a lot of effort to move that. So I'll get those freed up. So we'll get that apart in a minute. We've got triang under there. Have we got a model number in there? I can't see a model number hiding around there. It might be hiding underneath one of the axles there. So we've got the coupling just screwed in there. Flathead screw. Just pop that down there. There's the coal load. So just a plastic insert which just clips straight in. Don't think we've got anything of great interest on the back of there. And then the screw just is accessed just underneath the coal load there. Just goes in there. It looks like a wood screw. It probably isn't, but it sort of looks like a wood screw. So we'll get that all cleaned up as well. And then the final bit of the tender is the pin here, which goes into the drawbar on the locomotive. Just goes onto a little plastic, what would you call it, locating prong in the tender there. If we have a look at that there. So we're going to grab focus now. There we go. So that's just going to sit in there, and it's clamped together with the base of the tender. So we'll just pop those things down, and actually we'll get them right out of view, so we've got a bit more space for the locomotive here. So it's got a screw down the chimney. Let's just have a quick glance over it before we whip it apart. I know we had a quick look over it while we're over there on the railway. There's the drawbar. Wheels are relatively dirty, so I think it's more sort of tarnished from age perhaps. It's probably relatively clean when it went away. So if I just gently release this screw from here, see if we can catch the slot. We've got that. Just feel for that to drop out. There, I think we're free there. There we go. We've got quite a long screw, runs right down the chimney there. So we'll just pop that down there, and we'll just see if we can ease that off there. And we'll have a quick look over the inside of the body shell there. So hopefully we're going to encourage the camera to grab some focus there. And have a look down the inside. So there's less oil on the inside of this loco body than there is inside the tender. So I'm not quite sure how that's happened. So we have got triang R251 just in there, and then we've got built in Britain on this side there. So all quite nice. Metal buffers just pushed into the buffer beam there, painted up in bright red. So we'll just pop that over there in a place of safety, I think, because we'll just have a look at the back of the cab. You can see those two sort of holes there where the chassis plugs into there. And there's that little bit of detail in there, and the handrail, the wire handrail just clipped in on either side there. So we really will pop that one out of the way. Now, when I was talking about this earlier, I was saying whether it had magnesium or not. So this is the earlier chassis, which is sort of two metal plates with the weights bonded between it, and there that's got the weight in such a shape that it takes the screw from the chimney. So I'm not sure whether the black version ever got see-through wheels. I know I've got a maroon variant, and that's got see-through wheels, and it has the later chassis, and it does have magnesium on the back wheels there. So all looks in sort of fairly tidy-ish condition. Let's give this a little power and see how it's doing. So we'll just encourage some power on there. We've dropped the focus again. Let's see if we can encourage this to come back. So we'll pop some power there. Yeah, so that's a lot more encouraging than it was on the rails. So I think all the sort of gooiness of the previous oil and so on in the axles is preventing pickup. So I'll go ahead and get that cleaned up a bit, and then we'll get this lot running on the rails. I've got that on the rails with no top on, and just the tender. So we'll just give that a little bit of a run, and we'll run that backwards. See if we can get in just that little bit tighter there, and once more forwards there. And we'll bring that back again. Not too bad for something from about 1960, I think. So, solid wheels, nice crude Exo 4 type motor. So that tender is just a little bit rattly. Let's bring that to a stop there. We'll just whip the tender off for a second and have a look at the wheels. So yeah, it wasn't the wheels I really cleaned, it was the axles, so just pulled those out, gave them a bit of a clean, and the tender, the model number for the tender is underneath. If you have a quick look at that insert picture there. So it's very finely printed under that centre axle. So yeah, we'll get that on, back on there. And then I'll get the top back on the model, and I'll have a swift look over these wagons. There, I've got the top all back on there. We'll just have a swift look over the wagons. So we've got the brick wagon here in no particular order. We'll look at these. It's a fairly nice thing. We've had some of these on the railway in recent times. So this is R219. It was available with the brick load, but I can't remember the model number of that. We'll put that in the bottom of the screen. So these brick wagons available sort of 1959 to 67. I think in the 70s there was a bright red sort of London brick version. So the wheels are all fairly good, sort of nice and loose on the axles, or free running, I suppose is the word we're looking for, free running. So there we go. So R219. So we'll just put that on the rails there. We'll just hook that up and move that on just a little bit. And there we've got the well wagon. So that's a R118, available sort of 56 to 67. These were the various colours of these, and there were some variations of it sold as boxed with various loads. So again, wheels fairly nice and free running on here. Again, I have an idea I cleaned these up in the past. I'm not sure whether I ran this particular set, but I think I may have cleaned them. When I took those axles out of the tender, they were quite clean, but the oil I'd put on them had sort of made them a bit sticky. So that's the problem with oil. I suppose if you're going to use it on a regular basis, that oil wouldn't become sort of all congealed. Let's pop that on there, and we'll just move that a little bit further along. And then we've got the cattle wagon here. Fairly nice condition. All of these are fairly nice condition. They've all got sleeved wheels. So set coming from 1960. I think that's a little bit before the pinpoints would have come along. So these were available in slightly different shades over the years. I think in the 70s perhaps. And were these in the chocolate brown? I can't remember now. I have an idea we just had a look at these quite recently in a chocolatey brown colour. So R122, 1958 to 72. So quite nice items. And again, these would definitely had the pinpoints at some point or other. So we'll pop that on there. That's all nice and free running. That roof, actually no, that's just how it is. So we'll just move that on a little bit there. And then a brake van. So the Western Region brake van, R124, 1956 to sort of 70, variations of this. I think they're available slightly deeper brown than this from what I remember. And I think there was a grey variant in the 70s. I can't remember the model number of that, or whether it was the same model number and just carried on, but in a different, slightly different livery, but in the Hornby Railways era. So I quite like that. So I think we'll pop that on the rails, and then we'll pick up the other camera. And so 56 to 70 on the brake van there. There we go. Let's see if I can sort of back those across the shot there. So we'll get the other camera and we'll go the other way. There we go, running all together, the whole thing in shot. Let's just step back a little and we'll bring that around here. So I think I said last week I'd been cleaning up some wagons and they'd probably come out and play on another occasion. I think perhaps today's another occasion. Let's just stop that there for a second. So the group of wagons I think I had some of them still on the bench. I know we've got them all lined up and ready to go. And because they're all Mark II couplings, I've made myself another converter here. Let's have a quick look at that. We'll come round to it in a moment. So that group of items that somebody very kindly gave me recently, with those, you will have seen in those very long videos perhaps, there was a very beaten up brake van with a plastic base on it, which was had its underframe detail smashed away. So I've rescued the top, which is in quite nice condition, and I've used up the other half, or the other two halves, sorry, of the two chassis I made the other converter wagon with. So I've got a Mark III on one end and a Mark II on the other. That's going to be all good fun. So that's the other one I made up a little while ago. I think we've seen that one. There we go. So we've got Mark. Get that somewhere where we can see it. Mark III on one end, Mark II on the other. So those bits were just lying around, so I thought I'd use them up. So sort of makes sense to use these bits and pieces up. So let's bring this group of wagons around again and give that a little bit of a run. I think what we'll do is bring them back into this siding here next time around. So we'll just get beyond the footbridge, safely beyond the footbridge. There we go. And we'll just switch a point. So, struggling to remember where the switch is. It's this one here. Whoops, wrong direction as ever. So next time around, these will come into that loop. So we'll just grab a little bit of power on here. So we seem to have stalled. So let's have a look at that. Let's just give that a little bit of a nudge. There we go. Let's try that again. Yeah, these things happen. That's great running through there with all of those wagons. Let's see if we can bring it onto this loop and we'll get the hand on coupler. It should fit in here really easily. There we go. So we'll just pop the controls down for a second. We'll grab the uncoupler. And we'll pop this in. There. Let's just push those wagons together a little. There we go. Whoops, don't want to leave that line on the line. So obviously this locomotive, I think, would probably benefit from turning around. Let's take this one away again. Slight hesitation there moving away. So we want to stop it about there. I'm just going to tidy up this set of points so we don't come crashing around accidentally into those. So that's this one. So this time it's up. That makes them all close there. So let's have a look around what we need to do at this side. We'll leave the controls there. We've got the point here to change. So we want this one to go curved. And then we need this one with the orange dot on it, near those double O dinky wagons there. Whoops. I want to go straight with that one. And let's just run that up onto the turntable. There we go. And I always try and get the switch. It's just leaning in there. I think my finger's on the button and we can see the turntable. And come in tight and have a look. A glint of the motor through the back of the cab there. And we'll turn the controller the opposite direction. And we'll just run that right the way around there. we'll stop that there. I'm just going to tidy some points up. So excuse me spinning back around here. So this one wants to go straight, and this one wants to go curved. So that's that one, and that one which we just played with. And then we'll throw this one. So this one definitely wants to go curved. And then we'll just run that back into this siding. And ideally we'll hook up with that converter brake van that we were just looking at. There we go. It's going to be quite a heavy load, all sleeved wheels, but they all are nicely prepared. So this is them at their optimum, I suppose. And there's that slight hesitation moving off again. Great sound, all those plastic wheels running over the points there. There we go. Let's just gently bring that to a stop about there. And I'll close this point up. So we want to go straight with that one. He confidently reaches for the wrong switch. There we go. Out of the corner of my eye, I thought I'd had the orange one with the dot on. I actually, while I wasn't looking, went for that one instead of that one. So what have we got here? I think we had a little look at some of these wagons last week, but we'll just have a quick look over them. So let me grab the correct page. So at the back there we've got an R16 brake van. They're sort of 1953 to 67, and then the bolster wagon R17 53 to 74, the tarpaulin load there R19 53 to 59, and we've got a drop door wagon with northeastern on the side there. That's a R112 54 to 73, and a nice fish fan there R14 52 to 73 with a spectacularly bendy roof. There's definitely some acetate at play in there. There is, I think, a crack in the roof there if you have a look at that. So that's I'm not sure whether that's from an accident at playtime or whether that's as a result of the shifting in the material. So we've got a closed van there, goods van R11, long running model from 49 to 67. And then we've got a Shell BP oil wagon in black. That's R210 1956 to 65. This one's got the lovely 3-part tank, Shell lubricating oil, yellow. So that's where are we? R211, that one. That's 56 to 68. And then the petrol tanker Shell BP. That's R12 1954 to 71. So if we have a look at the other sides of those, let's just have a look. So you've got Shell on that side. So quite a lovely set of wagons. I've got quite a few I'm just sort of working through and cleaning up. So I've got some more petrol tankers, more Shell lubricating, and I've definitely got some more closed vans. So we'll get some more sort of multiples in action. So we'll just have a quick look at this box. So I've got a few things in here. So what I've got there, that's another oil tank wagon, R211. Got a fish fan, another closed van, another fish van, open goods truck, coal truck, cattle wagon, another brake van. Got all sorts more tank wagons. There's some TC items here as well. Sorry, I'm holding it out of shot. There's nothing printed on the end of that one. I'm not going to be able to get that one open with a one hand. What have we got here? We've got a refrigerator car. There we go. And then we've got a cement car there. So I'm just sort of gradually working through some of these items. They're all sort of the right sort of era to run on this Series 3 track, so ideally in the coming sort of weeks, possibly months, we'll get into having some more of these things running. And I think if let's just change the route for this and make it go through a few more sets of points. This one wants to go straight, and then the blue one, the one with the blue dot, I'm going to make that go curved. There we have it. So let's get that underway. Just keep an eye out for those Mark II couplings coming adrift by themselves. So I have had a good go at sort of lining them all up. They've been quite reliable when I've been having a fiddle with them, but it's going to be when you take your eyes off them. So that's all looking fairly good. Whoops, I'm looking over my shoulder and putting the controls down. Now let's see if we can get that diesel locomotive to run away. So the line should be fairly free for that to run. We've got the two trains in the shot here. Whoa, we've definitely lost that, haven't we? So if I try and grab the controls now, so this is what happens when you take your eyes off it. Diesel locomotive is definitely picking up a bit of pace now it's warming up. I'm just going to calm down the diesel locomotive, because that's charging away. Let's take a little power out of that. That sounds a bit better. Yeah, that's a bit nicer. So it definitely warmed up some, that, didn't it? So let me grab the controls for the 3F tender loco, and we'll give this a little bit more power. There we go, and I think that's probably about it for today. But thanks again for watching. It's hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll try and have something else interesting to look at. Goodbye now.